Ever since I became a photographer, there's been one trip I've always wanted to do. I wanted to explore the north of Norway, but somehow I just never made it there. Most of my work is photographing and filming advertising campaigns and celebrities in controlled environments. When my girlfriend Sarah and I started planning our summer holiday, we checked the weather report. The south looked pretty miserable, but the north, on the other hand, forecast was sunshine for almost 2 weeks straight. It felt like the perfect excuse to finally go. Our plan was to sleep in the car, but neither of us had much camping experience. However, we'd always been fascinated by the idea of living out of the back of the car and to go wherever we want. So we packed up some camping gear, threw a mattress in the back and headed north. Our first stop was Hemsedal. That's also where we decided to start filming. From Hemsedal, we continued deeper into the mountains. It didn't take long before I realized we weren't going to get very far. Every few minutes, I'd see something that made me stop the car. And sometimes we wouldn't get more than a few meters before I saw something new just around the corner. One of my favorite photographs from the entire trip came from that first morning. Just a winding road disappearing into the mist. Simple and quiet, exactly the kind of images I love. A little later, we crossed the bridge with the river running beneath it. I've always liked the look of long exposures on water, but I'd never actually taken one myself. This felt like the perfect time to finally try it. Unfortunately, I didn't have the right size ND filter, so I just held it in front of the lens and hoped I didn't shake the camera. When we finally came to Lom, we had to stop at the famous bakery. Sarah loves a good cinnamon bun, so there wasn't really a choice. They were every bit as good as people said. Walking back through town, I spotted a couple dressed almost entirely in yellow. I only had a second to grab the photo before they disappeared. Before going on this trip, I'd set myself one small challenge: talk to more strangers. It's something that I've always found to be quite difficult. When we passed this cool yellow camper van by the side of the road, I figured it was as good a place as any to start, so we turned the car around. It belonged to a lovely family from the Netherlands who were traveling around Norway. They happily let me photograph them, and we ended up chatting for a bit. Looking back, one of the biggest surprises from this trip wasn't the landscapes, it was the people. Those conversations became just as memorable as the places we visited. Before arriving in Stryn, we made one final stop at an old mountain farm. Standing there, surrounded by mountains, I couldn't help wondering what life must have been like for the people who once lived here. It was getting quite late and we passed a campsite that we thought looked beautiful. So we stayed at Grande Camping for our first night, sleeping in the back of the car. We set up by the lake, cooked some food, opened a bottle of wine and watched the sun go down. It was exactly the kind of evening we'd hoped this trip would give us. The next morning, we started the day with a swim in the lake. I got in pretty quickly, but Sarah, she needed a little more convincing. To be fair, the water was freezing. Looking back now, I realize this trip was never really about reaching Lofoten as quick as possible. It was everything that happened along the way. The people we met, the photographs we made, and all those little moments that only happen when you slow down. And this was only the beginning.